Hey, welcome guys. This time you get to watch me play. Yeah. Okay, so this is Rigel. We got Amari here. We're going to be testing out something new. I'm calling it diplomatic immunity for now. I'm actually pretty sold on that, but obviously suggestions are always welcome.
Your suggestions will be ignored.
That's not true. But so what we're going to be testing out is something very different from what has usually been tested. Usually we're doing either a trial or an ultimatum. Just to quickly review those, a trial and an ultimatum both are ways to eliminate other players. This being the game where, of course, we've got seekers and liars, and we're trying to eliminate each other. The way to do that is through the trial or the ultimatum. Now, the trial basically is, how do I put it? We used it for the first 50 games, and anytime you want to accuse somebody, you put them on trial and see if you can get enough votes. In an ultimatum, it's very similar, except that you're risking getting eliminated if the defendant doesn't get eliminated. So the diplomatic immunity, it's a little different and a little more involved, but I think it's going to make the game a lot more fun. So instead of trying to eliminate a player, when nominating someone for immunity, what you are doing is you're doing two things. One, if you get enough votes to grant them immunity, one, they can't get eliminated via trial anymore, and you can also get sorry, that siren. I'm sure it came in real loud over there. Anyway, so instead of trying to eliminate someone with diplomatic immunity, you're trying to grant them immunity from being eliminated by the trial or ultimatum. And the cost of that is that they have to then let everybody know what side they're on, hence the diplomatic immunity. So in this game, sudden death, if immunity gets granted to the liar, whoever that is, then the game is automatically over. If that person's a seeker, then we continue to play while that seeker now has to figure out who the other seeker is. So it's got a little bit of nuance. The other thing, the last thing I'll say about it is that the number of votes necessary to grant someone immunity is going to be counted out of everyone except for the person being nominated for immunity. So in this case, you know, if like you were getting nominated for immunity, it would be between us to vote, and only if both of us vote would he be granted immunity, just like the trial, but the numbers are going to be different as we have more players in other rounds. So anyway, we're going to be testing out diplomatic immunity in sudden death with Rigel, Amari, and myself, Sebastian. So please enjoy, and question, comments, suggestions down below as always. So we have masks, we have mics, and we have a game to play. Tokens. Let's hand these out. So I'm just gonna shake them. You shake them again as well, and then hand them over to him, and have him shake it, and then give it back to me. Cool. All right. All right, everybody got their tokens?
Yeah.
It's on the yellow side, so check to see what team you're on and raise your hand as soon as you know what team you're on. All right, game on. And cheers. Thank you both for coming out, helping me test out this interesting new addition to Lying for Money, hopefully.
I imagine it'll do very well. It's an interesting concept. I enjoy the, I guess, difficulty of it, because you never know who you're going to choose. The game could be over before you know it through everyone else's fault. So I think that brings a certain depth to it that'll be very well received.
I think it'll
honestly.
be better in like a 6-person game or a 5-person game.
Mhm.
I feel like in sudden death, it's like
Two feet
I think
people.
I think it just ends the game faster because like sometimes I'll end up with de facto immunity just because both people will trust me and it'll be like, well, I can no longer die and that's fine. And then I have to figure out who ends up getting killed off because we're at this point where they'll both vote for each other. So it's just like, oh, all right, fine. So I end up with de facto immunity. Now it's just I guess it'll move the game along faster. And if I happen to be the liar for once, then the game will just end immediately as opposed to me having to wait it out for another half hour. So I think it's a good device for ending the game faster.
Yeah.
I personally think that just like any additional thing to the game, while there aren't any official motions during the game, I feel like it'll help keep the discussion related to the game, because there's not just who are we going to eliminate. Now it's also possibly who are we going to grant immunity to.
Who are we going to save?
Who do we think is the seeker, not who do we think is the liar?
It puts a lot of pressure on everyone because you don't, like, let's say you are the seeker. It could be your fault that the game ends.
It's always the seeker's fault when the game ends. The seekers are the majority. No matter what happens, it's always
gonna
their fault. When you're a seeker, everything is your fault. That's just the way it is. Except that one game where there were 3 seekers and 2 liars, and we thought it was really obvious who it was, and this one seeker on the team just did not get it. And it was like, oh my god, this guy. Oh my god, this guy. Who was that guy?
I don't know what game you're referring to.
He didn't get that he was.
Remember that game?
Oh.
Where I was like, I nominate this person. You were like, you didn't raise your hand, bitch. And then the other guy was like, oh, I nominate this guy. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah, that game. Who the fuck was the third seeker? It was me, Steve, and someone who just didn't get it.
Yeah, that was an Inner Circle, wasn't it?
No, that was Illuminatorum.
Oh, Illuminatorum?
Yeah.
Really? He made it that far, didn't know who he was?
What?
Yeah, well,
Illuminatorum. That's like one of the higher levels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to understand, he's played like 17 games, so
things.
No, well, the person who didn't get it.
It's hard to remember all the games that he's played.
No, I'm saying like the person who didn't get it though.
Yeah.
He was in an Illuminatorum round.
Yeah.
So he had to make it to that round, right?
Yeah.
So it's like he's done.
No, it's just he didn't see like the plays that were being made. Like Steve made a play that
Steve was Illuminati in that game.
No, Steve and I were seekers along with that other guy, and Steve made like a play that would be called a gambit in gaming terms. You know what a gambit is? It's a sacrifice. So he nominated me, knowing full well that I was a seeker also, because by that point he and I both more or less knew that it was us and someone else, and he nominated me and made an argument that wasn't terribly convincing, but it sounded like he would vote. So it's because it sounded like he would vote, the other two, the 2 Illuminati would likely also vote. So then when he didn't vote and only 2 people voted, Steve and I both knew that those 2 were Illuminati, and those 2 knew that we knew. Like it was at that point. And then the third seeker just didn't understand what he was seeing or something. Like he didn't recognize that it was a gambit.
Yeah.
So he didn't see. So he nominated Steve, thinking that Steve's nomination of me was an aggressive move. And then he voted to kill him, and both of the Illuminati were like, "Oh shit, these guys know we are, so I guess we'll just vote because why not?" And so that one seeker ended the game just by not seeing. Like, he just didn't. He didn't get it. I don't remember who it was.
Sorry about that, guys. I just needed to test out the feed because Adam told me there was no audio, but I clearly heard audio, so
that's cool.
We're good.
That's good.
So that one time, it was the fault of one seeker, but it is always a seeker's fault.
It is always a seeker's
fault. It wasn't ever all the seekers, but that one time it was. Man, that was so frustrating. Whew. I don't remember who that guy is, but when I see him again, I'll remember that I have a grudge against you. That's right.
And then it turns out
there was no guy.
There was no guy.
It's the Mandela effect. Was there even a game?
We'll just call it ME from now on, and then slowly but surely it'll just become me. It'll become really confusing.
Like,
the me effect.
I remember that. That was me. We just described it as another guy. Yes, I know.
Can't you create like another parallel universe doing that? So you're gonna get like a group of people
You don't
thinking
need
it
to.
was you?
There's already an infinite number. If there's an infinite number, then there's every single variation possible.
I didn't
Even
want to
though
go
it's
on
an
a tangent. You don't have to
infinite.
create a parallel tangent either.
Fine.
Wait, but don't you think new parallels can be created if there's an infinite parallel?
If there's already an infinite, then making it infinity plus 1 changes nothing.
But it's
That
infinite. It's not
Yeah,
finite.
but that one that you just added
Mhm.
already existed because it was already infinite. Infinity plus 1 is still infinity. So you creating a new parallel universe is redundant because that universe already exists because they're infinite.
Time is linear. How can you create a parallel universe? Sorry, time isn't linear.
Oh.
I'm an idiot.
It's a 4-dimensional parallel. Come on, man.
I'm trying to make a dumb joke.
Okay.
But I still think you could create another parallel universe if you're already inside of an infinity universe.
You could create it if you wanted to, but like, what would be the point? It already exists. You just didn't find it. Now you're just making the whole system a huge mess.
So with every nuances, you think every parallel imaginable?
Yes.
I think with every new aunt, you got a new niece.
Yeah.
New nephew or something.
Kill me. I'm a seeker, but just kill me.
What do you think about that? You believe him? Have you watched any of his games? I should ask you that first.
No.
Then you haven't watched any games at all, because I'm in every single one of them, basically.
You can't be.
I know, but I am.
I'd have to look up the game that I watched. It's in my YouTube history, so I'm no liar.
Was I in it? You got a 1 in 3 chance. a little more. 1 in 3.
I mean, 17 out of 56. So
Oh, just below 1 in 3. 17 times 3 is 54, I think.
it's almost a third.
Yeah. Sadly.
Don't say that.
Wait, 17 times 3?
Yeah. Isn't that 54? Oh wait, no, it's 51.
Oh, so it's more than a third.
No, it's less than a third.
It's less than a third.
Math is hard. You shouldn't do math live. Lots of YouTubers have told me that, in their channels. Not personally, but just don't do math live. It's bad.
But you can always correct yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like you're looking down more than in other games.
Other game?
Right. Right.
Looking down.
It was just a really long game, so it feels like
I felt like there was 2.
Like you played a bunch of small games. It was intense.
It was a sudden death game? It had to have been. So it was a
Yeah.
sudden death game that was 3 hours long?
It was like an hour
and a half.
45.
Hour and 40.
That's average.
No, average is like 45 minutes. But that was like double
the time. Looking down more, you say.
Yeah.
I would attribute
my
that
feet.
to it being hot.
Right now I just get the feeling like he's seeking a little more, but
He's like extra seeking today.
Well, I mean, Seabass has seen me play this game 17 times, so he has a slight upper hand. But yeah, I guess he might know how I play. I don't know. He always lies to me and tells me, oh yeah, no, I knew it was you, or I knew it was this person. Only this one time he was wrong, where I was like, write it down now, before we find out. And it was like, nah, I thought it was this other guy. And no, it was like, all right, no, it was me this time.
But don't you know who each person is, though?
No, on Sudden Death he does not.
on Sudden Death and Seeker's Swear, I do not.
Oh.
It's only during Pentagonum and the Inner Circle where we have Illuminati, where there's the team aspect that I get to know. I and technically Jason, or whoever's the sound person in the back would know.
Okay.
And as long as he keeps his end of the deal, or she keeps her end of the deal, no one else should know until the end of the game.
Have you recorded yourself playing?
Many
before?
times.
A few times, but I never play the official game. That's the #1 rule that I think should always be a tradition for the host.
So has other people seen you play then?
Yeah, a lot of the people who I've been in the early games, close friends. I mean, most everybody is.
Have you seen him play?
Yeah. I don't remember how it is. This was like 2 years ago. But, he was originally playing only 6-person games.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I saw him play those back then.
Mm-hmm.
He just seems like himself, though. There's no tells.
From what I understand, this is not my assessment of myself, but people always say I'm a very unique person, have a very unique personality, and it makes it very difficult to read me. And so, I mean, take from that what you will, but I just feel, I think he's right. I definitely have a huge advantage having seen all of his games, and him and you not having really seen too much of me, just, whatever you've seen.
I mean, that makes me inclined to kill you. That's safety. That's just, personally, that's how I feel.
You don't get that luxury. I said that because, diplomatic community, I'm trying to explore that route, because I feel like it's the easier route to explore. Who just because there's 2 of us.
I feel like it's taking the 50-50 shot in the early game. Whereas for me, I end up waiting to take that 50-50 shot till the late game. Now we could take it earlier. So that's something.
Do you think it would have to be like an agreed upon? I mean, it would have to be an agreed upon.
Yeah,
both. I think going in, you would have to have support, and then hope. Depending on how all the testimony goes. Oh, that's something else I should have said. So the same way that, like, for example, if you were nominated for immunity, you would not only not be voting, but you'd also not have testimony, because your testimony is everybody's just going to say I'm the seeker and whatever. So
no, they could point out little nuances about the way that they play.
Well,
I would let them talk.
Remember, we're
yeah, I know, but you should let the person soapbox about themselves.
I just feel like it would be redundant. It's just as redundant as allowing them to vote.
No, I don't think so. Because, like, what if, like, let's say we're, like, nominating me, for example, and I did something that was, like, a very nuanced play to try to discover something early on, and neither of the other players caught it. I could say, yeah, and in the early game, I said this. You remember me saying that? That was to try to, derive this from this tell or something. That was exploratory in nature. That was this. You could have someone or someone could make up a bunch of shit about things that they were doing in their head that just don't work, but it could fool someone else into thinking, like, yeah, it sounds like that person was really trying, I would let the person soapbox about themselves.
All right. We'll give testimony. We'll see how it goes. I figured it was nonsensical, but
I don't know.
You convinced me. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
You give them the option. They don't have to. But giving them the option would be nice.
But obviously, I mean, we all agree it's silly to let them vote. Like,
yeah, no.
They would always vote, whether they're a liar or not, Yeah,
you don't have to let them vote, but you can let them have testimony. Or you could let them vote. I don't know. If you're going to let the person who nominated them vote, then, oh, yeah, no, I guess that's not a good idea.
They're always going to be compelled to vote, whether they... That's so dumb of me. I started the audio, and I didn't start those cameras. And I spent all that time setting them up. So silly.
Good shit. You weren't going to edit it anyway. Not for a test game.
Not for a while, but that's the first time I did that.
So you only have this footage then?
Yeah, I'll just start it now for whatever. That was silly.
So, motherfuckers, welcome to Lying for Money.
How's it going?
Test game number 4.
I don't even know what number.
Test game number 4. I'm Sebastian Lagos. And today we're testing out diplomatic immunity.
What is diplomatic immunity, Sebastian?
I'm glad you asked that, Rigel. Diplomatic immunity is like the opposite of a regular trial. So it's like a regular trial, but looking at itself in the mirror upside down.
That's a really good way to put it.
You're right about that, Amari. What do you think of this diplomatic immunity, Amari? Does it sound like a cool
Fuck what he
tactic to
thinks.
use?
He's new. Never played this game before. Played like one game. Don't
Yeah.
even ask him questions.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Well,
Shut your mouth.
God, Omari. Jeez.
I was about to start doing an imitation of you.
Oh, it's very good.
I would start looking at the floor. Mumble.
That's very unflattering, but all right.
Oh, I mean, if it came at me, I'd come right back.
You may commence the imitation.
No, that was
Yes,
bad.
commence the mockery.
I already just completely, the joke's on me. I already made that huge mistake.
Mm.
Hey, the joke isn't on you.
See, I'm
This is really harsh without ice. Holy shit. I have to remember to bring ice cube trays and to like bring some actual liquor because I always come here and drink and I'm always like, man, I should have brought this and that and the other thing, and I never do.
There's a liquor store right across the street too.
I did not know that. I always only go across the street for pizza. And I always politely eat it outside because I cannot bring non-vegan cheese into this household. It is illegal.
Should get a sign up on the front door.
No illegal cheese.
if I started doing that, I think I'd start getting to know the neighbors.
So someone would just like slide a little slice of pepperoni under the door, be like, yeah, fuck you. Got him.
Got him.
It's all
All right.
about bringing us together.
It's gonna get hot in here, right? Like I swear the temperature just went up like 2 degrees.
No, it's only gonna get cooler from this point on.
Okay.
It's not a cooler.
I started to drop a single sweat. The first one.
Oh my god.
So maybe it has gotten hotter than it was before.
You know what, can we kill sea bass?
You want to kill Seabass?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I mean, well, for one, I don't trust him. He's seen all of my games, so he knows how I play.
Mhm.
And earlier he was like, yeah, I feel like Rigel is seeking. And, I feel like someone who tries to actively team up with me is, so early in the game isn't suspicious enough of
Mhm.
like, the people, especially because he's seen me play so many games.
Mhm.
He should know that I'm more or less the same playing from both positions.
Mhm.
Like I'll accidentally start seeking even when I'm the liar. So I feel like that play to get me on his side early.
You feel like
is-
it's just easier for me to get you on my side
Yeah.
from the liar because I know you as opposed to Amari.
Yeah,
But Amari's vegan.
I don't fucking care.
I think it's easier to get him on my side.
That's just not true.
I'm just saying that's what I think.
Well, you don't know how he plays as well because you haven't watched him for 17 games.
Oh, just 'cause
You've
you
watched me
watch
for
a
17
game
games.
doesn't mean you don't have some-
Anytime someone is like, I don't trust Rigel, I kill them. Like, just, it might take 15 minutes or an hour, but that person almost universally dies. And sometimes it's a seeker, and I lose the game. And other times it's a liar, and I'm like, yeah, fuck you. So I think Seabass is playing to that, to my own knowledge of myself and trying to team up with me
Mhm.
because I think he recognizes that that's probably a faster way to go about it. Because me not knowing, like you and I don't have rapport.
Yeah.
So it'd be easier to turn me on you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it'd be easy to turn you on me too, but I don't know.
Do you feel you
I
can
guess that could
trust
work both
me,
ways.
or
Huh?
do you feel you can trust me, or?
I mean, not really, but if I have, I'm not going to see any evidence of like wrongdoing throughout the course of the game because it's, in a 3-person game when it's sudden death, it's like, the first play that's made and actually succeeds ends the game, like almost no matter what. So like, you'll never get like actual evidence of the way someone's doing something. So I just feel like it's
So like circumstantial evidence.
Yeah, we're playing off of like minor things like tells and body language.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you're looking at the ground more, you're doing this. And I think body language is a terrible indicator, personally. Because like the person who's the most into like, yeah, I play by body language and reading people is Kelly. and her like win rate's just abysmal. Sorry, you're not watching. You're not watching this.
She might.
Oh, because Adam is. Fuck you, Adam. Keep your mouth shut. We're on like the 4th monitor. I mean, how often does he glance at this monitor? He agrees anyway. But yeah, so I think like, you know, I feel like I trust I trust Seabass normally, but in this game, I feel like him saying he trusts me is kind of manipulative.
Which say I trust you.
Oh, I don't know. You thought I was seeking or something.
Well, I was just saying the fact that he was, at least from my observation, different based off that body language, having nothing to do with anything you did.
Okay.
It was more of an assessment of him than it was of you. So.
Well, I mean, you said I was seeking, and you said he was kind of like, you know,
looking at my feet. I mean, looking at the floor.
Yeah. Just I got the feeling, not just in that moment, but just all the moments leading up to it as well.
Well, like, what if he's just deep in thought because he's trying to figure out, God, who is it? Like, you know, sometimes when I like sit in that same way.
I'm just saying I have a lot of experience looking at seekers and liars, and seekers seek. You know, that's why I said it.
Okay.
And it, like I said, wasn't really a reflection on what you were doing. Saying that you were seeking is like what you're supposed to be doing. It's not like, it's like you're passively doing the thing you're supposed to do. It's not. He was passively doing the thing he wasn't supposed to do, which can mean one of two things. Obviously, it's only a second game, so that, you know, that can just be like a novice just lost in his head. But I felt it warranted me saying something because it was going on for a little longer. But
so you felt that I wasn't
now that
seeking enough.
But now that you're countering to me, it's kind of like evening the scales now.
Okay.
And now it's back to 50-50.
So you feel like I wasn't seeking enough.
Yeah, I mean, now you are. Ever since I said it, whether it's you, the liar, adapting to something I said, or you as a seeker adapting to what I said, there's a difference now.
I mean, it is a dynamic game, so like, you know, anything that's said is going to be picked up on and potentially used. So
yeah.
So you're not sold on killing Seabass as a safety?
You see, when he does stuff like that, it's like, you know, once, okay, it's a joke, it's nice, it's funny. But twice, it's like,
that makes it a recurring joke.
He's trying to sell it. He's trying to sell you on it. I mean, you want to talk about suggestive?
I feel like the first time, if it's a joke, then any time after that, it's a recurring joke. Because that's how that works.
Callback.
Is that what they call it in a comedic sketch?
See, now I start asking, all right, is he pretending not to know?
Should he know?
No one should know something like that. Only if you watch a lot of stand-up, but I don't watch any stand-up.
Some stand-up is pretty good though.
I know it is. I just don't have time or the wherewithal to seek it out. Like the last stand-up I saw.
He seeks the truth, not the laughs.
I don't know. I don't watch a lot of comedy in general. Like comedic films, it's like, like they never win awards. There's probably a reason, you know. It's like, forget it.
That doesn't mean that they can't be funny though.
No, I know they can be funny. I just don't care to like laugh. I guess
depends what it is. I mean,
No, I mean, like the last comedy I saw that I really liked was Wedding Crashers. That was a long time ago. My opinion from way back then probably wouldn't hold up to me now, but you know, I enjoyed it. Like I can sit there and mindlessly enjoy it. It's just, I don't know. I feel like I'd rather watch like a film that explores some new idea in depth, or gets people to think about something, or wins an award for like just cinematography even, or something. Like I really enjoyed like Interstellar and that other one where like they're learning a new language from the aliens and they're spitting out circles. What the fuck was that called?
Oh, was that like a newer movie? Arrival or something?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was some good shit. I haven't
watched that one yet. I wanted to.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I highly recommend it.
Arrival?
Yeah, unless I have the wrong name paired up with that movie, which could happen.
I think that's the right name.
It sounds right. Like
I feel
I
like
hope that's what it is.
I feel like if it's wrong, you just saw like a big movie poster for it or whatever, and
And Mandela and Mead back.
You
no,
mean
no,
back?
not Mandela effect. No, you just like
Need
you,
effect.
you saw. You know how like they say like when it's coming. Sometimes they say like arriving or whatever, and then
I could make that mistake.
misconstrued when it was
Arriving.
coming. Like, is it arriving summer 2018? And you just didn't see the summer 2018, or you assumed that the title was arriving and it just was coming in summer 2018.
Sure, I could make that mistake. Why not? I don't know.
Or you're the liar and it's a tangent.
Yeah, that could be that too.
Because you knew he knew about it and I didn't.
I don't know.
He seems to believe Arrival's a movie. I don't know about it.
I believe it's a movie, though.
I believe it. You haven't heard of it.
I've heard of it. I've seen
You can't
the posters.
believe it and not having heard of it.
Now you understand the Mandela effect.
I've always understood it. I just don't agree that we have like parallel universes that we're sliding around in.
I know I've seen the poster for that movie. Haven't watched the movie, but I can tell you on the poster there's like a black spaceship coming down.
Oh, it's shaped like an egg.
Shaped like an egg.
All right, that's definitely this movie. The spaceship was shaped like a fucking egg.
Yes.
And it was standing up on its like, that thing where they teach you in school that this only happens during the equinox, and that makes no fucking sense. Makes no sense.
Wait, what makes no sense?
That you can only stand an egg up on its end during the equinox.
That's stupid.
It's retarded.
That's stupid.
Children are so dumb. Almost as dumb as school teachers. Those dumb bastards.
Well, technically, it takes one of them to know the other one.
That is not true at all.
In that one particular case, in that realm, it's true. It's not universally true. It's just true in that particular space and time.
You mean in a classroom only?
Yes.
Yes. Well,
in classroom 101 or whatever classroom.
Well, what if you're a parent who comes in to pick up their kid, and then you're not a school child or a teacher, and you get into that room and get to see them try to balance eggs and just, oh my god, is it fine then?
I've never even heard of that.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they used to say.
They still say that. It's not something that like doesn't happen.
Who says it?
In science class, when you're in like middle school or elementary school, they'll hand out eggs and be like, oh, today is the equinox. So today you can stand an egg up on its like pointy side.
What do you mean, teachers?
Yeah, science teachers.
I've never had one teacher tell me that.
You never had to try to stand an egg up and
you have, right?
Yeah. You would just.
But is it a thing?
What do you mean? It's a thing that teachers do. Yes. Is it a thing that is scientifically accurate? No.
So it's like Santa Claus?
Yes, but in science class of all fucking places.
All right. Well,
I think it's just they don't have a better hands-on way to teach about the fucking equinox. I don't know how you could not.
I was never brought up with that deceitful tradition.
Good for you. Were you brought up with Santa Claus?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But it's the same shit.
But I knew they were lying.
Even from an early age.
Grew up in an apartment like this. I was like, "What are you talking about? Through the fire escape? Come on." I'd see it.
But some people used to feel that because they didn't have a chimney, that Santa Claus never came to their house because he had nothing to come down. And I mean, they still got presents somehow. Who's to say how they got it? But
I don't understand all these like traditions of lying to children about shit. I don't.
It's to protect them from the world, which they
the
should just be.
Fine.
Lie to them about shit that's like meaningful. Like if they don't have a father or something. Like not this like big blanket like lie.
You tell them that so that they fucking behave, and so that it's out of your hands.
You didn't need to tell me that to me.
Because like if a child is misbehaving, and you're like, I'm not buying you presents, then they can plead with you. If you say, if you don't behave, Santa Claus isn't bringing you presents, they have no one to go to, so they just have to shut the fuck up and obey.
I'm not saying I was like, I never complained or made life hell for my parents. I mean, there were moments, but
I know.
I don't think
I'm saying,
Santa.
it's
the
just really
myth that
easy.
Santa Claus kept me in line. Like
Maybe
Well, it's your fear of him that kept you in line, not really him
fear
himself.
of not
no,
getting
it's your
presents.
fear of losing positive reinforcement. It's not like he's gonna come down and slap you with a fucking brick.
No,
if
but
you're
that's
bad.
your fear of like not of doing something to make him not come to you. So you're scared that you're not going to get that positive. This is the fear.
Well, you're losing your positive reinforcement. It's
Yeah.
not like you're scared of angering him so he comes down and hits you with a brick or a coal.
Well, not that. It's just that you're scared of him not having a present for you.
I don't know.
Because like you want the present as a kid,
Yeah.
but the fear, because I believe they're taught like, you know, if you're a good kid throughout the whole year, then you would get a present. So your fear would come from when you're not a good kid that you will not get the present. So it's nothing that he'll physically do to you. It's just something that you're not going to get.
I don't know if you can call that fear.
I mean, it's like when people have like the fear of God or something, like they're scared to do something
Some
bad.
people are actually terrified.
Yeah, they're scared to do something bad because they feel that they're going to get eternal damnation.
Yeah, which is not losing positive reinforcement. It's incurring huge negative reinforcement.
I mean, it's just completely giving up all of your power to
They're like
something that doesn't exist.
they're gonna get like a massive punishment, which is an eternity of unbelievable pain.
Yeah.
Like spiciness on a level that no one should ever eat.
So
that forever.
So there's still a fear in having that become a reality for you. Like there's still a fear of.
Yeah, but that's not the same as Santa not giving you a present. That's the same as Santa Claus hitting you with a brick.
But why is he hitting you with a brick though? Because you're scared to do something that would cause him not physical harm, but like for him not to give you the present.
Well, God's not just giving you positive reinforcement for being good. Positive reinforcement would be, yes, you get to go to heaven. He's also giving negative reinforcement for, if you're not good, you're going to hell where you like suffer for fucking ever.
So the parallel is heaven would equal getting good presents, and hell would be not getting a present.
No, hell would be getting hit in the face with a brick.
Yeah, I mean,
getting no present would be like,
so,
and sitting in purgatory forever would be like getting no present.
But you're not
passive, you know.
Yeah, but you're not scared of getting physically harmed. You're scared of not getting a gift.
Yeah.
Because all kids want, you know, the gift. Like they want everything on their list. So they're scared of not getting the gift.
Yeah, but the people who want to go into heaven aren't terrified of not getting into heaven. They're terrified of going to hell. So there's like
and
midpoint.
A kid will be terrified of not getting a gift.
So it's like heaven is to presence, as purgatory is to not presence, as hell is to getting hit in the face with a brick by Santa Claus. That's all I'm saying, is that those, like, you're drawing a parallel here where it's actually here and here.
But
there's three options.
But I'm not seeing the getting hit in the head with a brick part, though.
It's the same. It's suffering. It's actual punishment. Whereas not getting a present isn't punishment. It's just not a reward.
We'll create a version of Instagram in a parallel universe and we'll call it parallelogram.
Can we kill him now?
For that safety measure, safety precaution?
For that. For other things. How do you feel about me and Amari now that you've watched us dialogue for like a few minutes?
I'm definitely more leaning towards you now as the liar.
Okay.
Not by much.
All right.
Just 5 to 10%.
All right.
By what? Under what grounds?
Well, he started.
Would 10% be 60-40 or 55-45?
He started making moves. And he asked you about 2 or 3 times whether you want to eliminate me with no grounds, really. And that immediately is setting off a flag because although he's, you know, if he does it once, right, it was a joke.
How many games do I do that in?
But if you keep doing it, like you're trying to plant a seed of doubt.
How many games have you seen with me and Adam in the same game? Because we both do that to each other continuously.
Yeah.
Until we trust each other. By default, Adam and I are inclined to kill each other. Just like Kelly and I. From the start of the game, we have an inclination that we should kill the other one just as a safety.
You guys
Even in a
are
sudden death, we really want to kill each other by default. And it's only after overcoming that feeling that we realize that we're on the same team and kill the other person. Or we think we're on the same team and I kill her.
That's really just because of the animosity that Adam breeds.
What about
A
me
is-
and Kelly? We don't trust each other either. But Kelly and me
A is-
are not animus.
Right. The A in Adam is for
Animus?
animosity, and the K in Kelly is for kill.
Okay.
So you think I'd still get along with this animosity, Adam?
Because you guys love spicy food, so you're clearly both masochists.
Yeah, you would build up rapport really quickly and then kill the non-spicy person in the group. And it's just like, I should have just eaten the pepper. This sucks.
What do
You're
you
definitely
think?
checking in more about the game than Amari.
What do you mean?
You know, you do more to.
Prep himself?
If I don't advance this game, I'll sit here in this heat forever. Like, it is so hot that I haven't finished my whiskey yet because I know that every time I sip this, I feel like it goes up a degree, but I realized earlier on that's like, no. The temperature didn't go up. I'm going up. So it's like, oh, fuck. You know, it's like, do I drink the water and watch the spiciness down my throat, or do I just sit there and take it? And it's like,
What about you? How do you feel
hot.
right now between us?
Between you guys?
He doesn't know how to read me. He doesn't know how to read you. He hasn't played a game with either of us. He didn't watch a game with either of us.
Well, I
That's nice.
I haven't played with either of you guys, but so I can admit to making some pretty novice mistakes or novice reasons of accusations, I guess you would say. And
Implications.
Implications?
I think it's that.
Well, and that I can't really judge you on any previous anything because I've never seen you play before. So the most I can do.
It's inferences.
Yes, there you go.
Thank God.
Yeah,
Okay. Those don't really bother me.
I haven't used that word in a long time, actually.
I know, because usually we don't infer. Usually we're implying.
Yeah.
But this time you're actually inferring this time, right? Like, we're always implying. No one ever infers anymore. I guess that's just how society is now.
Yeah.
Right.
So the most I can go on is by body language or how much you're speaking or kind of questions you're asking, the way you're talking. And I can say, you know,
Rigel.
to me, to me, Rigel is speaking sort of casually. I mean, in the car, he's on his phone a lot, but you know,
We're not allowed to do that here.
since we're not allowed to do that, it would have to be the alternative. But this also tells me that he's not really a quiet person, that he is one, you know, to speak and has stuff to say, but probably gotta, you know, meet him at a certain point or say something to spur it off.
Yeah.
It's just my.
Yeah, I'm not great at starting a conversation out of nowhere, but I
You know how to
carry one
continue
when
it.
it exists.
You know to continue and
So
carry.
still 50-50.
Yeah.
And on your end, this is just from my inference towards Rigel. Your end, you haven't been speaking. Like, I feel you've taken more of a listening role and analytical role, trying to get information, I guess mostly out of me, because I'm sure you know how he plays already. Like, you have a lot of experience and you can tell many things. So it feels like you're a bit more directed at me and not really at him. But I wasn't really getting that trying to lie or like trying to figure something out feeling from Rigel. And I feel if you have nothing to hide, then you have no reason to be so analytical about those around. Like, you're not actively trying to, divert attention away from you or actively trying to seem like you're a seeker or not. So
you actually believe he's a little bit. You believe a little bit more that he's the seeker than me.
yes.
How much?
Since I haven't seen him play, I wouldn't cap it at like 100%, but I'd say about 75%.
That's really high.
Yeah, that's a.
Right,
More
70%.
than-
70% was
It's more than 10%.
Yeah.
And 75% is crystal clear. It's not like I'm 10% leaning this way, which could either mean it's 40-60 or 55-45.
Yeah.
Depending on how you do math.
If that's how you feel, I mean, you probably should.
So far.
You probably should have went along with what he offered you.
Oh, to shrug and kill you?
To kill you?
Right. I mean, if I'm that certain, I at least want to see a trial play out.
I mean, how would you feel if we killed you?
Dead?
Or how would you feel on your impending death?
I mean, there's no.
Wait. I nominate Seabass for death.
Are you actually?
Yeah. Do I have to wait? What is it when you put the other person up to the other thing? Yeah. Is it still I nominate this person for diplomatic immunity?
I mean, it's informal. I'm just gonna have people raise their hand
Uh-huh.
and say, okay, what would you like? Trial.
Isn't it more
ultimatum?
dramatic to just let them say I nominate this person and then to pause for dramatic effect and then they either say for diplomatic immunity or for fucking death?
For elimination.
For elimination.
Fucking elimination.
We could do all sorts of things like
All
that.
right. I nominate Seabass for eternal damnation. I forget what I was supposed to say. Elimination.
Total elimination.
For total
Right, we're not supposed
elimination.
to talk. Go ahead.
I mean,
you don't have to. So
no, I know, but I should. It's appropriate. All right. I don't know. I don't really know how you play this game because I've never seen you play. But I remember Seabass from before, and he is kind of leaning back and not really doesn't seem terribly engaged. And I mean that's something. And the way he tried to pair himself up with me early in the game, I feel like is a recognizable easy win because it's not just something that like he could have witnessed over all these games. Like I actively say out loud all the time, like yeah, if someone's trying to pair up with me, then I'm not going to immediately trust them. But if someone tries to kill me, I'm always going to kill that person. So it's just because it's something that I say out loud, I feel like he's just playing to the the image of the way that I play and being like, all right, I'll pair up with Rigel. That'll be easy. We'll kill Amari. Rigel and Amari don't know each other, and obviously neither of them has seen the other play. So just because he has rapport with both of us, I feel like he's just easily can take advantage. And it's just also if I lose to you, it doesn't feel nearly as bad as if I lose to Seabass. So as a safety, I would rather kill Seabass and just be like good. So that's my testimony.
Wow. Pretty big testimony.
I know, right? That's some shit.
Yeah.
Voluntary testimony for you now.
Well, not sure how much my testimony would differ from what I've just said prior a minute ago as to why I would believe you or not. But again, body language wise, I do feel that you have not been engaged. You have taken a more active listening role than formerly trying to seek something out. Looks like you're trying to read me. Mostly me. Like I haven't felt you looking at Rigel too much, I guess, because I presume you know how he plays. So I don't get a feeling that you're trying to find a liar. I feel that you are seeking other people out. Like you know what you are, so all you can do is listen to how other people communicate. You can only look at it because you're not looking for the liar. Like you're looking for how you can read the other person to potentially get them to side with you, or potentially get them to do something to help you out. And that's the feeling that I've been getting. Put into simpler words, I don't think you're a seeker.
Is that it for your testimony?
That is it for my testimony.
Okay. Sebastian, would you like to provide testimony? Would you like to defend yourself?
Yeah. I think I'll get to addressing everything you said about me in a second, but just to address your accusation of me, because I'm on trial. First, I think that it's very indicative of a liar seizing an opportunity to accuse me the way he did.
Mhm.
He waited for your suspicions to be clear and then act on them and see what happens. The trial is relatively low risk. You know, it's not an ultimatum. It's not a potential game ender like diplomatic immunity as well. So that certainly raises my suspicions about him. But regardless, that addresses his accusation of me. At least just the context of it. I mean, the specific substance of his accusation of me, I'm not even gonna go there because I just don't think it has any weight. So to address what you're saying about me, it's interesting. You used the words active listener and you attributed active listener as not seeking, and I can't help but feel like they're very similar. So I'm literally saying that I think you're misconstruing the way I play for being a predator, lurking in the grass. The way I play as a seeker can be like that a lot because I set traps. I am constantly trying to trip people up, and I wait a lot for that, whether I'm a liar or a seeker. So the way I play can always come off as a liar or a seeker. That being said, and this is the last thing I want to say about me in general, is that my track record as a liar or Illuminati is impeccable. So the last time I lost as the liar was against Adam and Kelly, and that's because they're a dynamic duo. And quite frankly, that was the only time they ever beat me as me being a liar. So I think if I was, none of you would really be suspecting me, and if you did, it'd be over for you very quickly. So I think that's about all I needed to address. You guys can put on your masks and stick out your fist. If you would like to eliminate me, please lift your thumb and keep it up now. Masks off. One vote from Rigel.
I was watching you while he was talking about you, and you had like the tiniest smirk, and I was just like, oh, all right, yeah, we got him. He knows. If it wasn't for that, what was the smirk for?
I love playing this game, and I don't get too often.
Oh.
So anytime I smile, I'm just.
It just looked
really
like you were.
excited to be
It just
sitting
looked
in the
like you were
yellow
like a
chair.
little bit smug about it.
I think that has a lot to do with
Like
what I said about how I play. That was intense. I have a very not controversial. What's the word when you're confrontational? I have a very confrontational approach to this game, or at least when I speak, it's confrontational, and then when I sit back, it seems like it's lurking. But I mean, I also have to say, I mean, especially now that he voted, I mean, that just if it was 60-40, now it's 70-30.
Okay, if you think it's me so much, then
I'm very close to nominating him.
I nominate him for immunity.
Okay. Go ahead. It's your testimony.
Oh.
Oh yeah, raise your hand. Yeah, seriously.
I nominate Amari for diplomatic immunity.
You have to give testimony now.
Oh.
If you
I don't need to. I just don't trust you. I feel fairly certain that it's you, just from the way you play and from the way your testimony was so confrontational in nature, and from the smugness that I saw before you started. It just feels like, you know, you seem so confident where it's like, oh, if I was the liar, this game would be over so quickly. It's like, that's such a weird thing to say if you're like really a seeker. I mean, it's just like the level of confrontation coming from you is like unwarranted, and I mean almost unprecedented in the game. Like seriously, it's like it's coming on really strong. So yeah, I feel pretty confident that it must be you, and so if I feel confident that it must be you, and it seems that you are dead set on not changing my mind on that because you're just so like, you know, forward and like, you know, yeah, I don't know. I feel confident enough that I can, you know, nominate Amari for diplomatic immunity and feel comfortable.
Is that it?
Yes. Look how fucking smug you are.
I don't have any testimony.
Okay.
And apparently we're gonna go ahead with testimony from you. So it's up to you.
We're discussing why you should
why
have
you
diplomatic
should be granted
immunity.
immunity. So
Why I should be granted immunity?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because well, for one, actually, one thing that I haven't really got a hold of is, you know, how come you haven't looked at me or anything, or I don't know your thoughts on me, for one. But you know, I'm sure if you were the liar, that you'd have some sort of you have something to say about me. Well, like you would, you know, not only direct your full attention towards Seabass. So I'd imagine there's something in you that you feel you can trust about me. So that's why I feel you've granted me diplomatic immunity. I could be wrong, but that's all I got.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right. That's up to us. Everyone, except for Amari, please put on your masks and stick out your fist. If you would like to grant Amari immunity, please lift your thumb and keep it up now. Masks off. Amari, you have been granted immunity. Please open your token and let us know what team you're on. Nice.
I'm fucking right. It is you. That feels good. I was really worried for like a second when you were like, oh, I don't know why you picked me. You know, it could not be. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess that could be true. I haven't really thought about it like that. I just feel so certain because of the way he smugged, and because look at how smug he is now. He fucking knows.
Not letting me talk.
You can talk.
Look at the context of what he just did. All because I said that I'm close to nominating you for diplomatic immunity. What did he immediately do? He jumped on the opportunity to grant you immunity.
I was thinking about it at the same time.
I believe it's because as the liar, he felt his options are starting to close in. His initial attempt to get rid of me didn't work. And I started hinting at moving the game in a different direction. So what did he immediately do? He immediately put all of the impetus on you to move things forward. Just think about that for a second. I'm not the one who decided to grant it to you. I'm gonna vote because I'm a seeker and I believe you're the seeker, but I'm not the one who nominated you. I'm glad that we are in the immunity situation, though. So
Aren't you now?
this out.
Doesn't that feel good?
Yes. But just please don't confuse how happy I am that we're testing out immunity to be like, oh, he seems real confident.
What? I caught you. What do you want from me?
I hope you all also can appreciate why now both of us are going to spend less time talking to each other and more time talking to you. The whole dynamic of the game shifted. It's all about convincing you now.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to me. Talk to us. Initially, you were suspicious of me.
Yeah.
And you didn't vote for me. Something about my testimony either swayed you or you weren't ready to vote.
You just wasn't ready,
right?
Wasn't ready yet.
You weren't ready yet.
Yeah.
And how do you feel now?
I feel that I got two different reactions from both you guys when I showed my affinity just now. There's almost a sigh of relief.
Oh fuck! You're right. I didn't even think to look at that. That's good shit.
And
I did not think of that tell. Oh fuck!
And there was total. I guess that's
You didn't
almost.
see a sigh of relief from me?
I nominate Sebastian for elimination.
It looked more like a oh shit than a sigh of relief.
Oh, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you about that. I mean, that's your assessment of my reaction.
I nominate Seabass for elimination.
Who's nominated me?
Hey, you can't talk anymore. I didn't even think of that tell. Like I was so fixated on like, fuck, did I just make a huge mistake? And I was like, yeah, but I should have. You're right. I should have been watching him. That's a good point. I'll remember to do that next time. But yeah, shit. See, you play an okay game when I like as soon as you found out, you suddenly have become more like forward and you're like actively trying to engage him more, just trying to like defend yourself to deflect suspicion onto me like as quickly as you can, because you know that you're playing from behind now, and now you like have to really come out and be like, yeah, fuck this guy, I'm doing this right. You're making mistakes, and it's like shit, but your reactions, they give you away. Like when he was talking, giving his testimony for you, I was just watching you, and you had this like slightly smug expression that was kind of like, he thinks he's got me. Oh, these people don't know. And it's just, but yeah, you're not, I guess you're just not watching your reactions, or you're like, you play a good game when you're, talking and trying to make points. But yeah, when you're listening, I guess, yeah, that's what I picked up, is that when you're listening, how you feel is visible, and that kind of is actually really telling. I'm done with my testimony.
Again, my testimony only comes from your reaction to when I showed my affinity. So, period. I have nothing more to say.
All right. I don't know how to defend that other than, I'm not a gloater. I don't have very like explosive emotional responses, except when they have to do with sentient beings. And I would just also like to point out that, I mean, he's the aggressor here. I mean, this is his second nomination against me. He's the one who nominated you for diplomatic immunity. And just take the context of that in terms of voting record. Like, if I'm the liar, why would I want to grant you immunity? it just makes it harder for me. So please take that into consideration, because I think you're going to prematurely end the game here without actually having figured it out for yourself and really letting Rigel lead you. Like, eliminate me if you're going to nominate me. So that way you feel 100% about it. Because right now I feel like you're making a decision based off of him.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to come from you. I'm done. Everyone, please put on your mask and stick out your fist. If you would like to eliminate me, please lift your thumb and keep it up now. Masks off. 2 votes. I have been eliminated. Was I the liar?
Fuck yeah, man.
Yes. Yes, I was the liar. Congratulations. Figured me out.
It wasn't hard. You're awful. You're awful. You're terrible. Who the hell lost to you in the past? Come on.
Everyone.
That's embarrassing. Or that's what I get for playing 17 games. That's bad for me too. That just makes me feel bad about myself.
Well, don't also forget that immunity helped you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he already had de facto immunity. I knew it wasn't him. I just forced you to have to vote for it to speed the game up.
You played very aggressively.
Yeah.
If you didn't have immunity on
No,
your
I wouldn't have
side,
done anything. It wouldn't have changed a thing. What are you talking about?
it would have went on for longer.
No, you were so. Did you see him being smug when I was giving my testimony to him?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, it's just your face just it radiates. Fuck you guys. You think you've got me? You don't have me. I'm gonna destroy you.
All right. I mean, that's definitely just my attitude in general.
No, I mean you were 100% gonna die anyway, but I do think that this made it a little bit faster. Like it definitely made it faster.
It made it harder for me as the liar. Like,
no, it didn't change a thing. You had to vote yes.
you want to go for another one? One more?
Not really, because like it's hot and I'm supposed to pick up breakfast for and go home.
All right. No worries.
And it's like 5:50. 6:30. Breakfast is served, my darling.
Breakfast is served. There's pancakes and.
So we're just calling that.
I don't know. We can swing by Martha's Country Bakery, right? I'm just gonna pick up some pudding and like a latte for myself and be like.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that test game with diplomatic immunity.
Yeah, you got to see Seabass die. That's what you've all always wanted, right?
You got to see me lose in my own game. So
post your comments on what you think of Seabass now.
Yeah. Like me, hate me, still neutral. Just put it all in the description down below, or I mean the comments. And like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell. You get notifications. Check out Rigel's other videos. Check out Amari's one other video. And hopefully we'll have a secret square on Monday. But I'll confirm that with you in the next video. So we'll see you next time. Say bye to the YouTube audience.
Later.
Yeah.